This video mainly introduces how to use JWT for user verification. We will demonstrate it directly in the Goravel example repository. First, let's switch to a new branch. Open the configuration file. Add another guard. We will demonstrate how to use multiple guards for user authentication. Then create a new controller. Create it successfully. Open the controller. We will implement two interfaces. One is to log in. Another is to use token to obtain user information. First, let's implement the login method. In the login method, we will use the user model directly, because in the Goravel example repository, existing the users table, we don't need to create it again. Here we directly create a default user. In actual development, this should be to get the user model according to the past parameters. Here we create a user based on the name parameter passed in. Returns a 500 response when an error is encountered. After creating the default user, we start to implement the logic of JWT. Here we will demonstrate using multiple guards for user login. We get the guard of the current application from the header. If guard is empty, we use the default guard. If guard is not empty, use the guard method to specify guard. Here we call the login method to demonstrate the usage of different methods. This method is functionally consistent with the login using ID method. Then we return to the user and carry the token. Login method complete. Next, we refine the info method. Also use guard in header to distinguish users. Returns an error message when an error is encountered. Then return the user information in the response. Okay, we've completed all the controller methods. Let's add a new auth middleware. Create a new middleware file. Implement the basic structure of middleware. Get default guard from configuration. Determine if guard is set in the header. Get token from header. If the token is empty, a 401 error is returned. Next, start parsing the token. Determine whether the token has expired. If expired, refresh the token. If the refresh fails, it proves that the refresh time has exceeded and a 401 error is returned. Refresh successful, update token. If token parsing fails, a 401 error is returned. Put the latest token in the header of the response. Middleware complete. Next, we add a new route. To facilitate routing packets, create a new routing file. Initialize the auth controller instance. Add a new route for auth controller. Add the auth middleware for the info routing. After adding, add the API method to the root service provider. So far, we have completed all the necessary code. Let's test the interface. Open the command line and run the project. First, test using the default guard to make a request to the login interface. You can see that the token is returned correctly in the header, and return the correct user information. Then we get the user information according to the return token. You can see that the token is successfully parsed, and return the correct user information. Next, we log in with Admin Guard. You can see that when Guard is admin, the token and user information are also returned correctly. Then we parse the token with Admin Guard. Token successfully resolved a user named admin. So far, the two interfaces have been successfully verified. Next, we implement integration tests for them. Go to the tests directory. Open the root test file. Add a new test auth method. We first create a response struct to bind the return of the interface. Then create a set of test cases. Override our newly added two interfaces and two guards. Test default guard. Test custom guard. First, try to obtain user information without carrying the token. An instance of HTTP has been defined in the current suite. We can initiate a request directly. Let's make an assertion. Expect to return a 401 response. Then test the login logic. Make a request to the login routing. Start asserting. Expect to return 200 response. Returning the correct user information. Also asserts that the response header contains a token. Next, we carry the token to request the info routing. Add assertion. The expected response is 200. Return the correct user information. The test case is written. Let's run a test. As you can see, it runs successfully. Now let's review the main content of this video. First, we updated the configuration file, added an admin guard, then add an auth controller. Implemented 2 methods of logging in and obtaining user information, then add an auth middleware for user authentication. After that, 2 routes were added, and added auth middleware on the info route. Then register the route to the root service provider. The integration tests are then overwritten for all logic. The above is the main content of this video. The relevant code can be found in the link above. Thanks for watching.